Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis is one of the closest fights I've ever had to think about, dude. I'm sorry. I'm tired of pretending like Sean Strickland's gonna get blown out of the water, man. Because he's not. Sean Strickland is not gonna get blown out of the water. Sean Strickland has a very fair chance to beat Dricus du Plessis this weekend. What's up, boys? I'm back. I know it's been a little bit since I last posted. Took a little break. But we are back, and I've missed a couple stuff, which we'll talk about at the end of the video. But let's talk about Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis on this horrible 312 card that absolutely no one cares about. Even me, I don't care about it. Let's look at the age of both these guys. We have Sean Strickland, who's 33, Dricus du Plessis, who's 31. Sean Strickland's getting up there in age, obviously. He's been around for a while, but, you know, he's still a great competitor, and I'm excited to see this fight. I really am, because they have very similar stats and everything, same reach, same height. We've seen this fight before. Obviously, the first fight was an absolute nail-biter of the fight. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Sean Strickland first. Because everyone talks about Sean Strickland like he is some boring, you would rather die than watch this man fight. He teeps and jabs for 5 rounds. And yeah, he teeps and jabs, but he makes it entertaining, dude. You can't tell me that Sean Strickland's not entertaining. At some points of his career, he hasn't been entertaining. Like, we'll look back at the last 5 fights. His last fight against Paulo Costa. Yeah, that was a horrible fight. I'll give you that. That was he did teep and jab for that whole fight, and I'll give you that. 5 rounds, he just looked boring. Then the fight before that, we have the first fight between these two, Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis, a fight of the year contender, a war of a fight. Both of these men were absolutely bloodied up by the end of the fight. Look at Dricus in this picture after that fight. All I'm saying is that's not the face of someone who won, dude. That's not the face of someone who won. But we won't talk about the first fight. Then before that, we have Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya. One of the biggest upsets, one of the most exciting upsets in UFC history. No one thought Sean Strickland could beat Izzy, and well, he 50-45'd him, dog-walked him. Then we have the Sean Strickland versus Abus Magomedov, the fight right before his title shot, which he knocked him out. Can't say that's boring, can you? And we have Sean Strickland versus Nasruddin Imavov, the guy who Izzy just got knocked out by. Sean Strickland pieced up Imavov for 5 rounds, and he definitely wasn't a boring fight. You can't say that was a boring fight. And yeah, man, obviously Dricus, no one's talking about Dricus for being a boring fighter. 22 fights, 20 finishes. You can't hate on the guy. You can't really hate on the guys. But you know, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the actual fight, the breakdown, the inside foot battle between these two warriors. I'm joking, you're not gonna get that. But I do want to talk about it because I do think that Sean Strickland has a very good chance. You know, a lot of people were talking about that staph infection on his left or right arm. I don't know which one. That's not going to matter in the fight. Let's be honest. Maybe Strickland will come out after. Here's the thing, guys. I was on antibiotics the whole freaking week before. Yeah, no one's buying into that, buddy. So let's see. Strickland, obviously, predominantly a striker. He had some good moments on the feet against Dricus in the last fight before Dricus headbutted him. Dricus is a balanced fighter. He can wrestle, he can kind of wrestle. I'm gonna be honest. He just mainly falls on your leg, face plants, and somehow gets a takedown. Did it against Izzy. I think he did it against Strickland. So if Dricus is able to mix in some wrestling, then it's gonna get interesting. I can see Sean Strickland gassing out. I mean, we don't usually see Sean Strickland gassing out. Both these guys have pretty good gas tanks, but still. Here's another thing I want to talk about, though. Another thing I want to talk about is this fight is going to end in a finish, dude. It's not going to go to another narrow decision because we've seen this so many times. We've seen a rematch where the first one was super duper close, and then the second one just someone gets blown out of the water. Let's talk about it. Volk versus Islam. What happened in that second fight? Volk got brutally KO'd. Stipe versus DC. What happened in that second fight? DC got brutally KO'd. Worse than Stipe got KO'd in the first fight. Then let's talk about Pereira versus Yuri. Yuri was having some good moments against Pereira on the feet in that first fight. He was probably winning that fight. And then the second fight was utter domination by Pereira. Come on, Usman versus Colby Covington even. That first fight was really close until the 5th round. And the second fight, Usman just blew him out of the water. There's so many fights like this in which the first fight was extremely close. Nail to nail. You couldn't decide who wins. And then the second fight, someone just gets KO'd. Someone gets blown out of the water. Someone just absolutely gets dominated. And I believe that's going to happen in this fight. I believe that Sean Strickland or Dricus du Plessis will someone's getting knocked out. Let's just say that. Someone is getting knocked out. I don't see someone getting submitted. I can't really see Strickland tapping. And Strickland's not going to submit anyone. So someone's getting knocked out. I can see this fight also being maybe an early stoppage. Like Strickland maybe complaining like, oh, I didn't tap. And he's all mad. Or Dricus even. Strickland gets on top of him, starts grounding pounding, and he's not fully at. Referee stops it. And if Strickland does win, then expect to see a Nasruddin Imavov versus Khamzat, #1 title contender fight, and a trilogy between these two guys. I'm sorry, as much as I hate to say that, we're probably going to get a trilogy before the Khamzat fight if Strickland wins, and I don't know if I want to see that. I do want Strickland to win, don't get me wrong, but I can't watch another one of these fights, dude. They're so entertaining, but I just don't care. I just don't care because Khamzat's gonna ragdoll both of these guys when he gets their hand on them. So, the winner of this fight that I am gonna predict, I'm gonna go ahead and predict it. I have Dricus du Plessis. I'm sorry, dude. I really just do have Dricus. I think Dricus is better everywhere almost. Oh, I just do, dude. Dricus can mix in wrestling. Like I said earlier, he might mix in wrestling. I don't think he'll mix in wrestling as much as he did the first time. I think he's gonna try to outstrike Strickland. Obviously, Strickland talked about, here's the thing, Dutchman. I'm gonna need you to stand up and fight me like a real man. Yeah, I don't see Strickland actually like keeping his word. Maybe Strickland will go for a takedown. Maybe he's playing some mind games, dude. I don't know. But, I don't think this fight's going to go to the ground much. Maybe Dricus will take it to the ground if he really needs to, just to tire Strickland out. But like I said earlier, dude, Dricus is probably going to rock Strickland. Maybe hit some shots against the cage. And it's going to stop standing up or something. Strickland's going to complain. Or I can maybe even see a doctor stoppage. Like, Dricus is just piecing up Strickland's eye. Or the other way around. Both these guys have serious scar tissue on from the first time they fought. So one of these doctors coming in, like, they can't continue. That's the end of it. I can totally see that happening. I do think this is going to be a good fight for at least a little bit of it before it is stopped. But yeah, man, I'm hoping this fight is good because the rest of the card, I haven't talked about it as much, but this is shocking. I'm sorry. This is one of the worst cards I've ever watched, and I'm probably only going to be watching for the main event. Yeah, I don't care about the co-main event either, but thank you much for watching. I'm sorry. I haven't been posting it much recently. Izzy got knocked out. Sharmagomedov got fraud checked. So much happened while I've been gone, but I just want to thank you guys for the support. I'll see you in the next one.